Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is you're watching. Welcome to the Real Watchers live stream. This time for May 6th, 2024. We are coming up on halfway through the year already, which is kind of hard to imagine. But I hope you're all having a fantastic night so far. I know we already got a comment from our good friend Nadia over at Hornmore saying, "What's up? What's up? Hope you're having a great start to the week so far. Can't wait to talk some movie reviews, movie news, all that kind of fun stuff. We got a lot to talk about in terms of not as many stories as last week, but we got some cool ones to talk about. Got a lot of movies, particularly I have a lot of movies that I watched over the course of last week. I think this is the most movies I've watched in 1 week ever. So that's pretty interesting. And probably the most in theater in 1 week, too. Also, obviously, got our box office figures, got the movies that are opening up this week. And then, as always, the Wheel of Fate. And we do have a couple of changes. Well, they're not big changes, but we are going to be making some changes to the Wheel of Fate. So we'll talk about those a little bit when we get into that section. But just a reminder to start thinking about the movies that you want to submit for the Wheel of Fate. And a little bit of a spoiler for one of the changes. Try not to submit anything that you submitted last week. I'll just go ahead and say that now. But hope you are all having a fantastic night so far. Kevin, how has the last week been for you? Anything kind of special to stand out to kind of talk about?
No, nothing too much. I mean, the week's been going on. Our fiastic thing with Disneyland last week was pretty fun. Didn't get here on time, so that was fun. We're going to Disneyland tomorrow again, so we'll see how that goes right before summer, and then we're all blocked off for about 2 months, and we'll see about that. Oh, we have something cool. Well, that's going to be next week, so maybe should we wait for next week?
Talking about Universal?
Yeah, I
think we talked about it last week. We're planning on going to Universal to see the updated studio tram tour for the 60th anniversary. And no, we will hopefully not be involved in a tram accident.
No.
It hasn't been one since. So,
yeah.
Lame. Well, if you're referring to the movies that you didn't say last week, we'll explain why. But
yeah,
just think of some new ones. Matt Walls, hello, sir. How are you
Mr.
doing
Matt.
today? Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. But let's go ahead and get into the first story this week. First story up, Kevin Feige apparently turned down Ryan Reynolds' initial pitch for the MCU movie. Apparently, the original pitch for Deadpool 3 was a Rashomon-like story from 3 perspectives.
Damn.
Which would have been kind of crazy because Rashomon is not what I would expect to be a Marvel movie at all. But then also, there was also the idea to do an indie film type thing with like a budget that's like $10 million or less, like for a Marvel movie, which is nuts. But I think that hopefully they'll hit the happy balance with what they're doing with Deadpool and Wolverine. So
I think they are, and I think a lot of people are going to go see this movie just because the Deadpool movies are really good. So why not go see this one in theaters?
Yeah, and it's a first R-rated MCU movie, so I think people are going to be there for it.
Wait, so Deadpool 1 and 2 are not MCUs?
No, those are part of the Fox X-Men universe.
Oh, I did not know that. All right. Well, the Maze Runner series is getting a reboot from 20th Century Fox. Okay.
Well, it's 20th Century Studios now. I mean, this is just kind of one of the bigger stories from this week. Not a whole lot of like big new stories this week, so kind of just want to throw it on there. But the director of the Maze Runner original trilogy is doing the current Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which comes out this week, but then also is doing the live-action Legend of Zelda film. So hopefully this will be a different kind of casting situation, different director, and I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know why they want to reboot it already. It's only been like 8 years, maybe, or less.
Oh, really? Has it only been 8? I was going to say 10.
It definitely hasn't been that long, so I don't know.
Really?
But maybe they'll add it. I got no idea. Maybe a TV show. Who knows?
Maybe.
Next up, it's official. The Marvels was the biggest flop of 2023. Kind of expected this. I mean, the movie didn't do well at the box office. I think it barely well, if it's a flop, it didn't make its budget back. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Probably one of the weaker movies so far in the MCU. Not for any particular reason. Like, there's a bunch of reasons, but like, it just makes sense.
I mean, it was fun, but in our reviews, I think we both said Kamala Khan, the actress in that, really stood out in the movie. So definitely watch it just to see her performance, but I mean, it's still a good movie. It's not like it's unbearably bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not
Mhm.
great either,
Mhm.
for sure.
All right, and Ryan Gosling won't accept dark roles due to family concerns. So I guess he's worried about. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, he's worried about how it impacted on his kids, which is understandable, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like if you have young kids and they want to watch you in your movies, it makes sense to do kind of things that they would want to watch or that you would want to show them and not cause any kind of PTSD or anything. Like you wouldn't want to
Hmm.
see, if your dad was an actor and you were like 10 years old or 6 years old, you wouldn't want to see your dad, get beheaded or something like that. Like
Hmm.
I get it. And like honestly, it's been working out. Movies like The Nice Guys and Barbie and The Fall Guy now, like he's really coming into his own as this kind of like action comedy, but
Well,
also like a good just performer. Like
well,
he can do it.
and he has If coming out. So
That's
isn't
Ryan
he?
Reynolds.
Oh my gosh, never mind. I hate when they have the same names and they're both good actors.
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Ryan Gosling is Ken.
Whatever.
Actually, that was funny because they have a current at Universal Studios right now. The Waterworld stunt show starts with a Fall Guy spectacular thing. And recently, Ryan Gosling and the director David Leitch showed up to one of those spectacular things. And the guy who's like the main actor of the stunt spectacular part mistakenly thinks that he's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really funny. I think it was just Kevin. Kevin's got a new job. I don't know if you guys know. But next up is pretty big news. Don't know if it'll happen, but Sony Pictures has offered to buy Paramount for $26 billion. For those of you who are not aware, Paramount has been kind of in limbo at the moment in terms of whether it's going to be bought out by another company or if it's going to remain as it is. It's been losing CEOs left and right, but this is the biggest by far potential kind of buyout procedure that's been looming. I hope not, because Sony is a very hit or miss studio. I just hope that if it is true, hopefully it helps them to create better content.
Well, I mean, all I'm thinking about is Sony's going to have the rights to Sega, which has Sonic, and two Sonic movies were pretty good. So hopefully they don't, if they do buy them out, it wouldn't butcher that whole trilogy or however long they're going to go on for.
It also give them the rights to like Top Gun, to Nickelodeon, I believe. Like there's a bunch of stuff that falls under the Paramount banner, so would be interesting to see if it happens or not.
Yeah. All right, and Mike Flanagan is in talks to direct next Exorcist sequel. So it's not Green anymore. Was that the one who did?
The guy who did Believer. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts now. David Gordon Green.
Yeah, there it is.
The guy who did the Halloween trilogy recently. I think he's stepping away to work on a different project. Also, because the movie wasn't received too well critically or fan-wise, for the most part. But I mean, if you're going to have anyone come in, Mike Flanagan's a good one.
True.
One of the better voices in the horror genre. Creator of Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Doctor Sleep, Oculus, I think Ouija, Origin of Evil, which was the better of the two films from what I know. He knows what he's doing, so sounds like it'd be a good fit. Next up, A24, one of the best studios in the world right now, has hired the Godzilla X Kong director Adam Wingard to direct Onslaught, which is kind of similar to Civil War. Is going to be an action movie of some sort. We've known that A24 has been looking to burst into more like the franchise, big budget film space, as opposed to just doing indie drama and kind of more lower budget films. So I think with his recent success, I guess you could call it, with Godzilla X Kong, because it is one of the higher grossing movies of the year, if not the highest grossing. I'm actually curious if that is the case. I do want to see what's the highest grossing movie of the year so far. Highest grossing movie of the year so far is, it's Dune Part 2 still, as far as in the US. But Godzilla X Kong is third. So it's holding on. I mean, I think he's a perfectly fine director. So I mean, hopefully he just gets to like stretch his legs outside of the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, and we can see what type of movie he wants to go for too. I know it's an action movie, but there's so many subplots to an action movie. So interesting to see what he picks.
Yeah, 100%. So interested to see what it's going to be.
Yeah. All right, and Nadia will be happy about this. The Pope's Exorcist 2 is now officially happening. When we watched this on Netflix, I think we watched it on Netflix or something. It was actually pretty enjoyable. So
that's a word to describe this movie.
I know.
I mean, that movie really sequel baits though. So I'm like, on one hand, I'm glad to see that it is getting a sequel because they really talk like there's a lot of potential in the story. I just hope it's better than the first one for me personally. That's what I'll say. Which is weird that like Russell Crowe is becoming like the exorcism movie guy. Like, you know, he's in this upcoming movie called The Exorcism. So like it's kind of weird that he's just kind of becoming the supernatural haunting movie guy, but you know, hey, good for him. If he likes doing them, go for it.
Keep it up.
Let's go ahead and get in some comments here. Paramount owns so many franchises. Yeah, Paramount is one of the biggest studios ever in terms of franchises and things they've created. So, yeah, I got it. I don't know. Sony did pretty good at Tarot. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it. They've really dropped the ball though when it comes to like, you know, like the Emoji Movie and Pixels and a lot of their animated movies that aren't the Spider-Verse films. They also did Morbius and Madam Web and all these really bad movies. So like their track record's really not good. Mike still needs to do the Dark Tower series. Yes, I know he is still working on the Dark Tower series. He's working on a lot. He was also just announced as the executive producer for Chris Stuckman's horror film. Chris Stuckman being the YouTube movie reviewer, doing his first movie. And then is Adam Wingard still doing a Metal Gear movie? As far as we know, the Metal Gear Solid movie was announced with Adam Wingard directing and what's his name? Oh my gosh, Moon Knight.
Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, thank you.
Yeah.
As with him as Solid Snake, that's what the last news we heard was. So hopefully, still true.
True.
But let's go ahead and continue on. Kind of interesting news here. Paul Walter Hauser, an actor who's been in a couple of things lately, is getting cast in pretty much every fucking movie under the sun right now. Just got cast in Fantastic Four. Don't know who he's playing. Was cast in the Naked Gun reboot, who is going to be playing like the chief captain character. I forget who the actor originally was in the original movies. And is playing Chris Farley in the Chris Farley biopic. Man's got some work and stuff going on right now. So
yeah,
I want to go ahead and double check and see what he's been in recently. He was in that new Netflix animated movie, Orion in the Dark is what he was in. Not a lot of other like big stuff, unfortunately. Kind of just starting out. Looks like he was in Cruella, as well as in Black Klansman as well. Oh, he played Richard Jewell in the movie Richard Jewell, if anyone saw that. But yeah, so getting a lot of work, so good for him.
Good for him. The He-Man live-action movie Masters of the Universe is releasing in 2026. We'll see how it is.
Yeah, I mean, we've been supposed to get a He-Man live-action movie for a very long time. So interested to see if it'll be any good. It is supposed to be directed by the guy who did Bumblebee, which
that's
Travis Knight is his name. There we go. That Kevin reviewed last week. So
yeah,
which is pretty good news.
If I don't see Arnold on that screen, I don't know. Arnold as He-Man?
He's a little too old.
I don't think so. Hey, there's some nice CG makeup they can put on him.
Yeah, at this point, just cast Paul Walter Hauser. We just talked about. He's getting everything now. Anyhow, George Miller is working on another Mad Max movie with Furiosa right around the corner. I think it's actually not this week, but next week or the week after. Super excited. Hopefully it is another mainline Mad Max movie. If not, just make it another movie set in the world. That's all we really want. I love the Mad Max world, so I'm just game for more of it. Yeah, I mean, it's assuming that Furiosa does well. If Furiosa just kind of like fizzles, then we'll see what happens. But I am never going to complain with more Mad Max.
No,
and I know you love Fury Road too. So
yeah, me neither. I just want to see how Furiosa is because of all that CG talk, and see if that even affects the way I watch that movie.
I will say I just saw the trailer in IMAX this weekend before the Fall Guy, and I gotta say, it looks pretty great on the IMAX screen.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right, and then Mickey versus Winnie slasher movie announced. They're getting too ahead of themselves.
I mean, we should have expected this, right? When all these characters became public domain, but really,
yeah, like they didn't even let it simmer.
Like it's not even really part of the Pooniverse. Like that's what's really upsetting. It's not going to be in the same universe as Blood and Honey and Bambi the Reckoning or whatever. Like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'll probably show up on some streaming platform at some point. I doubt this is going to theaters.
No, Paramount Plus. There you go.
Yeah, unless it gets some sort of like big like meme following, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey did, and then maybe it'll get some sort of theatrical showing. But we'll have to wait and see. Next up, more horror news. Actually, the directors of Talk to Me have their next film lined up, which is supposed to be titled Bring Her Back. They are still doing Talk to Me at 2 as well. And they were announced to be directing the Street Fighter movie. So they've got a lot of work lined up, which, I mean, gotta hand it to them. The Raka Raka guys coming from YouTube and being able to and doing all these movies now. Good for them. I'm super proud of them.
Have you watched Talk to Me yet?
I still have not watched Talk to Me yet, and I own the darn thing.
Yeah.
So maybe this week. Maybe I should I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but like I've pulled down all the movies on my shelf that are like they're sitting in there sideways now, so I know which ones I need to watch that I own that I haven't seen yet or haven't reviewed yet. So it's one of them. So
nice.
Maybe in the next week.
Okay.
Kevin, keeping it up with the horror news here.
Terrifier 3 release date moved up to October 11th. I mean, they have to get it in the theaters before Halloween, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's going to be a wide release or if it's going to be like a limited kind of showing, more like a Fathom event, something kind of a thing. But yeah, I don't know. Depends on what the rating is for that movie. Apparently the first two are just super gory and violent. So I don't know if we'll see an X-rated or an NC-17 rating, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Next up, the fourth Riddick movie, Chronicles of Riddick Furia, will start production this August. So if you weren't tired enough of Vin Diesel yet, he's getting another Riddick movie. Which, I mean, as long as it's not just seeing him in more Fast and Furious, I'm okay with it. I haven't seen any of the Riddick movies, so I don't know if anyone's really excited about this in the Riddick fandom. But, you know, it's coming.
I was just going to ask you if is that the one with Vin Diesel where he's wearing the goggles?
Yes.
And I'm correct.
You are absolutely correct. Yeah, which is just nuts to me.
That's crazy. All right. The Strangers Chapter 2 is to be released in September or October, with the third in early 2025. A 4.5-hour supercut is being discussed. Oh my god! Wait, that's all the movies together, though,
That'll be all three of them in one.
Oh,
movie,
that's okay. That's okay then. I thought it was just one movie that's 4.5 hours.
And that's how you break Nadia, by making a horror movie into 4.5 hours. Yeah, I mean, I love the first Strangers movie, the original one. I think this trailer looks okay at best. So we'll have to wait and see if Chapter 1's any good. But the fact that they made all three back to back, you know, as long as they turn a profit, I guess it shows that they're still wanted.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Nadia was talking about it's like almost scene for scene for the first one. She was saying
it does feel a little bit like that, like a little bit of a different couple kind of a thing. So I don't know. We'll see. Yep, good catchphrase for the goddamn show right there. We'll wait and see. And last story up, I'll just leave it on Docam. The Fall Guy 2 is getting a positive update from Ryan Gosling. Basically, he's saying that the sequel essentially wrote itself when they were doing the first one, and it just depends on the success of the Fall Guy, which has now come out. It's been out this whole weekend and has underperformed at the box office compared to what people thought it was going to be doing.
Mhm.
So maybe we'll see if we get a second one. I don't want to tease my review just yet, but I hope we do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so hopefully I'll be able to see it maybe Wednesday. I don't know, but it looks interesting. And from your review, I won't say anything about it. But now I'm very interested because I thought it was something else, and it turned out to be way out of left field.
There you go. Alrighty, well that is it for all of the movie stories this week. Move stories, just get you moving. But let's go ahead and get to some of these comments here. We have quite a few of these. Paul is definitely Dr. Doom. Has to be. I don't know about that. I think he'll probably just be like a side character or something. There's the rumors surrounding Dr. Doom have been too good. Like the fact that Cillian Murphy, who played Oppenheimer, is in the running to play Dr. Doom and has said that he wants to play Dr. Doom. I hope that's the case. I don't know. I don't think Paul, at least from what I know of him and I've seen him, he doesn't fit the role of Dr. Doom. But I could be wrong. Nadia says Team Winnie. Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh for the win. Putting $100 down bet right there on Team Winnie.
Our good friend Joey, you just want to see Dolph Lundgren in He-Man. It can be as a cameo since he was in the 80s version. Hell yes. Put Dolph Lundgren in it somehow. I mean, you could just don't put him any makeup on him. He could be Skeletor. Because he's all old and decrepit now. Those two doing a Street Fighter movie is literally a dream come true for them. That's what they said. For the Raka Raka brothers. 100%. Do like the Riddick movies. The first movie is the best. Good to know. I haven't seen any of them. Kevin hasn't seen any of them, so maybe we'll check them out before Furia comes out. Cheese and Rice, a 4.5 hour movie. Even I couldn't do that. That sounds about right. 4.5 hour cut. I don't know. I didn't like the original Strangers movie. I mean, sure. Yeah, 4.5 hours is a very long time for because it's basically just 3 movies back to back. It's like, why? Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No.
Maybe as like a Blu-ray extra, you could have it where it's like on autoplay or something, but I don't know about that. Sammy Boy, I believe new to the chat. Welcome. Are you guys a fan of the Apes trilogy? After rewatching it, it is an underrated series. If you're speaking about the reboot trilogy with Rise, War, and Dawn, they're fantastic.
I've only seen the first one. I'm going to try to watch Dawn and War. Yeah. This week, yeah.
Before Kingdom comes out.
Yeah. Hey,
I might try and do the same, because Kingdom's right on Friday. So, but yeah, I've seen the 3 of them, and I know that they are very good considering what they could have been. But I haven't reviewed them yet, so I'll definitely have to do those over the course of the week. But thank you for the comment. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and talk about the trailers that came out this week, Kevin. And it was not a very good week for trailers. We didn't get that many. But I do have to say, we finally got our first look at Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. Which looks pretty darn interesting.
It does look interesting. I watched it while you were looking at the people, talking to the people, putting up the comments. I didn't have the audio on, so I didn't listen to anything, but it looks good. So we'll see how that turns out.
Hopefully it will end up being good. Also, Lee, which is about a wartime photographer in World War II, could be pretty interesting. Other than that, a lot of indie films didn't get the chance to watch those trailers this week, so I'm not going to say they're bad or good. But Megalopolis is probably what stood out to me, just because it's Francis Ford Coppola, one of the best American directors of all time. So, but let's go ahead and get into our favorite part, Kevin. We get to talk about the movies that we've seen over the course of the week, and I watched a little bit more than double the movies you did this week. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to do. Usually we go back and forth, 2 movies, 1 movie, back and forth. I'm going to do 5, and then I'll have you do your 3 before the Wheel of Fate ones. Then I'll do my other 6 or whatever, and then we'll do the movie of the week ones. Wheel of Fate. Hope that makes sense. Real quick, Matt Wallace. Yeah, the newer Planet of the Apes movies are kind of underrated. Literally. Yeah. Everyone I've talked to is like, they're making another one, and it's like, yeah, they're making another one. It's great because they're really good. But let's go ahead and dive into the first couple of movies that I watched this week. First up was The Disaster Artist from 2017, which is kind of the it's so crazy this actually happened kind of a comedy movie about how they made The Room. I'm not that big a fan of The Room. Like, I'm not like part of the cult favorite people for it, so it doesn't have a whole like a special place in my heart, but it is still a fun movie, and it really kind of goes over the spirit of filmmaking and the passion and love for this kind of magic creation that we all love to watch. Not the best movie in the world, but it is still a fun one, and if you're into movie making at all or into like cult classics, you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Second up, a movie that I absolutely did not know existed, and I'm happy it does, is To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, which is quite the title. This is a fantastic comedy movie starring Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo as drag queens who are going from New York to Los Angeles for a drag competition, and they get caught in a rural town somewhere in the middle and make the town people's lives better before they leave. It's a super lighthearted comedy movie, pretty family friendly, which is really nice to see, and is just really goddamn funny. There's so many good lines in that movie that I'm going to be quoting for years to come. Like "What in the gay hell" is something that I totally plan on using. But yeah, I mean, it's not like. It's not that it's free of problems. It is very formulaic. You know what's going to happen from the minute you watch the movie, but you watch it for the performances and how much fun Swayze, Snipes, and Leguizamo are having. And in turn, how much fun everyone else is having because of how much they're really buying into it. It's fantastic. Next up was for some reason that didn't work. The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. I really loved this movie when I first saw it, and watching it now, I've not soured on it, but I've kind of have a little bit lesser of an opinion on it. I do really like the overarching story and how much more artsy it is compared to a lot of other revenge thrillers. And it's one of the best looking movies I think I've ever seen. But it's a little puzzling at first. If you don't know what's going on, it can definitely go over your head. And a lot of people just think it's a drawn out 2.5 hour long revenge movie when it's a lot more than that. So, but I still really love it, and Leonardo DiCaprio is amazing in the film. After that is Godzilla, the original, that turns 70 years old this year, which is crazy to think. I think this movie is fantastic if you watch it as not as a monster movie, but you watch it as a movie that details the anxieties and fears of a post-nuclear bomb world. And in that, it becomes so much more than just a monster movie, because it's okay as a monster movie. Like, it's kind of crazy to think, but in 70 years, the human characters still aren't really that interesting, which is like a constant theme of these. But they're also this really poorly edited. It's just kind of really hobbled together in some places and really poorly cut, but it is still a fantastic movie, watching it as a post-nuclear bomb anxiety-filled film. After that, it's free on YouTube. I watched Blackfish, the documentary about SeaWorld and the orcas being kept there, and the trainers that had unfortunately had accidents or were killed in the process. It was a really interesting documentary. I do think that on one hand, it is very informative and very educational about how orcas are. On the other hand, it's a little one-sided. Obviously, it's not being made to kind of show both sides of a debate. It's showing to take down SeaWorld. But we hear nothing from SeaWorld. They refused to be interviewed, so you don't really get any other side of it, which is a little annoying. That aside, though, it does honor the people who worked and were killed in these unfortunate circumstances, and it doesn't... Like, it's kind of interesting, like any kind of animal documentary will take like an anti-human stance. This one celebrates the trainers and the work and the relationship they have with these animals while trying to take down the company they work for. So it is a little bit refreshing in that regard. If you have YouTube, it's also on like every other streaming platform. If you haven't seen it before, it is worth a watch, just at least be a little bit more, educated. Because while SeaWorld has made some changes, they're really not doing anything in any other special way. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Last one before I switch over to Kevin. I did go and see Mars Express, which is a new French animated movie that released in theaters this week. This is the first movie I saw in theaters this week. And Mars Express is fantastic. It definitely wears its inspirations on its sleeve. It feels a little bit like Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, I, Robot especially, but it's animated beautifully. This movie is gorgeous to look at. The world is so cool. There's like this banality in like how technology is used. It's like super futuristic tech, but it feels like stuff we could actually have. And they just treat it as normal and fluid in their environment, as opposed to just like overblowing it and being like, hey, look at this. This is how it works. They just expect you to know what it is. And it's really refreshing. And the story is really cool about sentience and AI. It doesn't take a stance or anything, but it is a really cool film regardless. And if you have it in your local theaters, you should definitely check it out. I thought it was fantastic.
I never heard of it until you put it on your letterbox, and I was like, what the heck is this movie?
It's a damn good looking film. So, but we'll switch over to your 3 before your Wheel of Fate movies.
Okay, so we'll go to 42, which is about Jackie Robinson, the first black MLB player, which was very interesting. Dude, I know Chadwick Boseman was a good actor, but dude, he played the shit out of this role, and I love this movie. It shows the struggles of being a black person moving to the MLB, being the only one there, but it also shows how much strength that everybody else of his teammates are around him, and they grew on him, and it's just a really good movie, and it's a really good history movie too. I wish I would have watched this as a kid in like school or something, just to see like different segregations and how they separated the two, which was really awesome. And then next one,
the segregation part isn't awesome, but it's awesome to see the portrayal of it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that was horrible. That's out of context. I watched Skyfall. We watched No Time to Die in theaters, and then I was like, oh, I should watch some more 007 movies. Well, the first like 2, Quantum Solstice, and the other one, I don't know.
Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace?
Yes, Quantum of Solace. They weren't playing anywhere. So I was like, oh, I'll just go to Skyfall then. And dang, that's a good movie. A good action movie. And I was reading your review afterwards too on this. It is a very adult movie. Like very like
all
adult.
All the Bond movies are, but
yeah, but I meant like sometimes it's just like action and you know what happens, but this one is like when he takes off his teeth for the cyanide pill, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming, first of all. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely give these, I'm gonna get over these 007s because they were really good. And then do you want me to do, yeah, okay. We went to go see Tarot, thank you. I can't spell it and I can't say it. Tarot today, and I enjoyed it. They do not take advantage of the monsters enough, though. Give me just a whole movie of those monsters and just maybe not jump scares, but creepiness behind them, because there's so many of them. Like the hangman could have been hanging somewhere in a tree in the back or something, and that no one sees it. Oh man, Nadia and I need to write a horror movie, because I think it would just go hard because of how much we love them. But it was still good. Wish we got more monsters, and wish the tarot deck was pretty sick too.
There you go. Yeah, actually, it's one of the things, like, not because I'm a fan of the movie, but I would love to buy that tarot deck if it was a real piece of merch and use it for like D&D or something. Would be fantastic. I hope they do sell it. Alrighty, switching back over to me before our Wheel of Fate movies. I watched Reno 911 Miami, the film based off of the popular TV show. I love the TV show, and I think the movie was kind of disappointing. I think that they're really funny when they do bits and little segments in 30-minute TV shows, but as a hour and 20-minute movie, it just kind of fell apart a little bit here and there. They had one through plot going through, and I don't think that's where they succeed. I think they really do better with bit humor and kind of just individual segments. And so I do think that it was a little bit disappointing in that regard, but it was still great to see these characters. And there are actually 2 other movies that are on Paramount Plus that I will probably check out, because I love Reno 911. After that, I went and saw the big release this weekend, The Fall Guy, and while I don't think it was necessarily one of the best movies of the year so far, I do think is what probably the most fun so far, and most like lighthearted. I feel like anyone could go and see this movie. It's not like overly violent or anything. Like, it's just a great action movie, kind of like a swashbuckler, if you think about that. Biggest problem for me in this movie is the actual story. I think it's pretty formulaic and it's very predictable where it's going, but you don't mind because Ryan Gosling is like the anchor of this movie and he is like perfect the entire time. Everyone in the cast is having a fantastic time, but of course it is about the stunts. It's about the stunt community, and that is what the film's heart is, and that is what shows. So very awesome. After that, checked out Over the Hedge, the old DreamWorks animated movie from 2006. And this movie is not bad. It's not great either. There's a couple of really annoying characters, and I don't know why they had to give the Avril Lavigne possum eyeliner. Like, they didn't have to do that. But like, it's fine. Like, it's one of the least offensive animated movies I've seen in a while. So sure, it exists. And I'm just going to go ahead and say sorry ahead of time to our good friend Nadia here. But I really did not like Taro. Not because, like, this movie has a couple of good things. The creature design is really good when you actually see them and they're not hidden by the darkness. And then Jacob Batalon was a really fun comic character because he's the only person that seemed like he understood that you're not supposed to take these movies seriously. And other than that, this movie feels like it was written by children. It's so pathetically written. Characters are abysmal. The main character is awful, in my opinion. And the film is just very, I don't know, like when it's not, like, it does have creepy moments, don't get me wrong. The Magician and the Fool are great sequences. But the rest of them are just flat and boring. And I gotta say, the film feels really lazy just because it's all jump scares, except for the Fool and the Magician, which is why I think I like those two sequences more than anything else. It's not the worst movie of all time. It's not the worst movie of the year even. I mean, I'd rather watch this 6 more times and watch Rebel Moon Part 2. But, you know, I have to be honest, I really did not enjoy it. But again, that is just my opinion.
Yep.
And then I'm not really going to count this as I watched this week, but I did go and see The Mummy's 25th anniversary re-release last night. My score did change. It went up from an 89 to a 90, so that's why I included it on here. One of my favorite adventure movies of all time. It's on my video that I made for the channel, my 150 movies that remind me why I love film. I absolutely love this movie with all my heart, and it was so cool. I finally got to see it on the big screen. I've only seen it at home.
Was it in IMAX too? You said
no. It was only in a regular theater. But
okay.
It was my brother, his wife, and I, and it was just us in the theater. We had the theater to ourselves, so we were like catcalling Brendan Fraser, and like it was a fantastic time. But let's go ahead and talk about our Wheel of Fate movies, though, and I'll have you go first.
I'm gonna go with my bad one first.
Oh, okay.
Because we're gonna end off on a positive note.
I like.
Please don't watch this movie. Please don't watch anything but you. It doesn't know. I've heard rumors about The Fall Guy where it doesn't know what it's supposed to be sometimes, like a romantic or action or stunt devil. Like, I've seen some videos on that. This one doesn't even know what the heck it is either. It's romance. It wants to be comedy, but it doesn't give you that comedy, and the romance just doesn't make you care about the characters if they get together or if they don't get together. And they're just doing it just because they want to impress somebody else. But you eventually know what's gonna happen. It's so predictable. It's free on Netflix. Again, my opinion is my opinion. Go watch it to make your own opinion. But if you get something from it, awesome. It was a waste of time for me.
Sure. I'll go on a similar note. I'll start with the one that I'm the least fond of, which is Death Proof, which is kind of odd to say because it's a Tarantino movie. And I think that it is, in fact, the weakest film that he's ever made. Just because I think it goes for style over substance, which, of course, was the entire purpose of the Grindhouse double feature that this was a part of. But it's just, I don't know, it's pretty boring when it doesn't have anything to do with the cars. It's just, it's all right. But when they're in the cars, like the final chase in this movie is so good, and the final sequence is iconic and should be replayed a lot more often. But yeah, it's just okay, and I think but for Tarantino, that's a bad thing when it's just okay. So
Is this one a part of the universe with like Machete and stuff, or
those were all revealed in like the Grindhouse double feature.
okay,
So it was originally Planet Terror and Death Proof.
Planet Terror?
And
I
then
couldn't remember that one.
And then they had trailers in between each one, and one of those was Thanksgiving. The other one was Machete, and then there's a couple of other ones like Nazi werewolves or something like that. Like it's just some really weird, funny stuff. But that's just what Grindhouse movies are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then mine, Chopping Mall. Oh man, I mean, I watched this before, but I did not review it on my Letterboxd, so that's why we watched it again. And oh gosh, this is just a fun old movie that is fantastic for me. Stop doing that with your eyebrows. This movie is just 80s cheese. You don't care about the characters, and they have unlimited ammo, and they never reload their guns. That's when you know it's a good cheesy movie. But the robots in this movie just have a saying, and it's "Thank you, have a nice day" after every single time they do something. If you want, again, Nadia gets these movies where we can watch these on Halloween in the background, and everybody's going to make fun of it, but it's going to be the best time ever.
Sure. Ending on a high note, my last one was Chef from 2014. I love this movie just because it is so relentlessly positive, and it's one of those movies, like, obviously you have conflict in any movie. The conflict is done in the first 20 or 30 minutes of this movie, and the rest of it is just people having fun, rediscovering their passions, sharing it with their loved ones, reconnecting with their friends and family. It's just a great time. It's one of those, like I say in my review, it's a movie I keep in my back pocket for recommendations because a lot of people haven't seen it. It's Jon Favreau's best film. I will not hear that Elf is better than this. It just simply isn't. But this movie is just, it's fantastic. Nice, short and sweet, and yeah, great movie. So highly enjoy it. But for any of you, that's it for our review. So if any of you want to see what we thought of any of these movies in more detail, those are down below us. You can see. I write out full, more, not well written. What's the word I'm looking for? More thought out kind of reviews. They're longer format. I'm trying to do them for all my existing reviews, so you can kind of go on there and read more into depth about what I think if you want. And Kevin is working on that too. He's making longer and longer reviews, which is awesome. So, which will really be good when we have the Real Watchers website. So, but we got a wall of comments to get to, and something tells me I'm not going to be excited to see some of these. Skyfall is so good. Casino is a close second for me. I agree. I think Casino is the second best of the Daniel Craig movies. I think Skyfall is the best James Bond movie ever. Ooh. That's just me. No Time to Die just wasn't it for me. Did not enjoy that movie as much as I thought I would. I think we saw this together, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I think we both kind of walked out disappointed.
It was. I can't remember it actually because it's been so long. But yeah, I remember us coming out of the movies like it was good, and that was it. But like what did I watch? Skyfall was like that was good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just want to know who the next Bond will be. No idea right now. The only name that's gotten any kind of serious media buzz has been Aaron Taylor-Johnson. But yeah, I'm really excited to see who it's going to be too. It's got to be someone younger because that's what they said they want to go for. Tarrant?
Yeah,
bro?
I called it Tarrant. Oh well. Tear
it up. Skyfall is still good. Daniel Craig has kind of hurt how I rewatched the older movies. His rendition of the character was peak Bond. Totally agree. Every Bond has their strengths. Daniel Craig is like the best action Bond for sure. Pierce Brosnan's still the most charismatic. You just keep going through all of them. They all have their own strengths. And I think Daniel Craig has kind of spoken to what modern audiences wanted. And I think that's why we really enjoyed his performances. 15 out of 100, right to jail. Yeah, the movie should go right to jail because it's incredibly offensive to my palate as a movie reviewer. No, I'm just kidding. It is just my opinion. I'm really upset. Like, I'm not upset at the movie. I'm upset because, like, I was really looking forward to it because I was
the trailer looked so good.
The trailer looked good. I was excited, and then the creatures were designed by the same guy who did Siren Head, and I was just like, "This is going to be great," and it just completely botched the landing for me. If you enjoyed it, all power to you. But that's just that's just my opinion. Obviously, Kevin did not have a super positive, real opinion either. So like everyone is gonna think differently about it.
I would say don't listen to anybody. Just go watch it and make your own opinion on it.
Judge for yourself.
Because we've seen a lot of people. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it was bad." I'm like, it wasn't too bad. Like I was expecting like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey bad. So.
I mean, the film's not it's not that bad, but it is still not in a good horror movie, in my opinion. Joey, I think I said this when it was Garrett and Adrian, but Over the Hedge did not transfer well from a comic strip to a movie. Yeah, you really have to like push a lot of that, into like they really are not push it up. They really have to stretch it out. Like they have to take like a concept and just make a movie of it, and it doesn't always work. Some of the performances are good, for sure, but it just doesn't really work when you stretch it out that long. So I get it. The first two Mummy movies are GOAT tier. Thank you, Matt Walls. They're so good. I mean, 2 is not as good as 1. I'll be real, but they're both still fantastic. I like them just as much as I like the Indiana Jones movies. Yeah, because Brendan Fraser in The Mummy is one of the best adventure movie heroes ever.
I was just going to say Tom Cruise is really good.
I need to look up this entire moment. I need to see if I can find it. And I don't care if we get this video copyrighted. I need to find the part where he throws the chair at Benny. Just because it is legitimately one of the best moments in film. Yeah, here. Okay. Let's see here. All right. We gotta. It's show and tell time here on the Real Watchers. We need to actually do this here because this is too good. Alrighty, you should be able to see my screen, and you should be able to hear it eventually. This is just fantastic. Well. Let me guess. Spring clean.
Nice shot.
He just decks a dude with a chair. It's great. Sorry, I love that movie, and I will never stop singing its praises. All right, and I'm glad we could share that moment with you together. I still blame Evelyn for the events of The Mummy. Yeah, it's her fault. It literally is. She reads from the book. That's exactly what causes it all. Not even for Sydney Sweeney?
No. So I haven't seen
hotness according to everyone.
I haven't seen any of her other movies, so I cannot compare her actress abilities. But she was horrible in this movie. She was so monotone. I feel like I don't know why, but she was just like, "Oh yeah, we should get together because I want to make him jealous." Okay, and that's how they get together.
Yeah. We'll say though, the two of them are just a poster of them like looking at each other. That's a damn good poster. I will say they chose two attractive people for that movie. Matt Wallace, my favorite part of the second Mummy movie is the double-decker bus chase. Yes, it's pretty great, and the music sounds like I'm watching a Marvel movie. I forgot how good the music is in the Mummy. God, the fucking movie rules. Go watch the Mummy. It's in theaters right now. Go watch it in theaters. It's great. It's also a little bit scarier than you remember it being. Like there's jump scares in it. Like. You know, they're not lazy because it's not a horror movie. They're just there to like increase the heart rate a little bit. It's fun. I don't know. Fuck it. I love that movie. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the box office figures. Why don't you go ahead and take it away, Kevin?
Yep. Fall Guys, number 1 with 28.5 million. We got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace re-release with 8.1 million just because of May the 4th, which is great to see them re-releasing some of these movies and getting them a lot of praise. Challengers is still in the top 3 with 7.6 million. Tarot, I'm gonna get it right one of these times. Tarot was 6.5 million, which is still good. I mean, it's not the best, but and then Godzilla versus Kong New Empire is still on the top 5. Usually it's just straight to DVD after like the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, clearly it's the third highest grossing movie of the year so far. Yeah, biggest story of this is that The Fall Guy underperformed. Honestly, I think a lot of people were expecting it to make a lot more money, but we're still in May. We're not quite in the summer yet, so maybe people just weren't able to make it on a Friday night. But it's getting really good word of mouth though, so hopefully people will go and check it out. Yeah, and then Tarot opening strong at 4th place, which is kind of interesting. Hopefully, we'll see if it stays on the top 5 next week.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, just because we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out, which will probably dethrone.
Oh, and I wanted to say too, if you guys want, Garrett sent me this in a text message to our group chat. Look out for early bird specials for movies. They're like $5 to $6 or something like that, right? On Regal.
Specifically Regal, yes. Like if you go to a movie before 12, it's like $5 or $6.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I mean, if you don't want to say if you don't want to go see Tarot, but you're like, maybe I'll give it a chance for $5. Go try and see that.
There you go. Oh, excuse me. I don't think I've yawned on stream before. Not you guys. It's been a long day. Comments here. The Mummy is our generation's Indiana Jones. I mean, kind of, yeah. Just because, Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny weren't up to the snuff of the first 3, but yeah, I'll take it. Sure. Mummy's fantastic. Brendan Fraser needs more work. Give it to him. All right. Well, before we move into the movies that are coming out this week, just a quick heads up for the Wheel of Fate section that is coming up. So let's go ahead and I'll just talk about the difference now so you guys can start thinking. So when I mentioned earlier, any movies that you said last week, don't say them again. That's because from this point on, any movies that are added to the Wheel of Fate that are already on there, if they're not picked the week before, will stay on the wheel going forward. So this will create an even bigger amount of movies that we could possibly roll. And that way, you guys don't have to keep putting the same things in every week. It's just, having to retype it over and over again just makes it easier. And, again, we're not hitting massive numbers of viewers here. So you guys can think of 5, 6, maybe even 10 movies that you want to put on the Wheel of Fate. So start thinking about them now. We're going to keep them rolling ahead as we move forward. So that was about it. So just start thinking about them now. We're not putting them in the comments just yet, but start thinking about them now. But let's go ahead and talk about the movies that are coming out this week. And obviously the big one is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape must go on a journey that will lead to question everything thought about the past and make choices that will define future. That is the big one this week. Up after that is Pool Man, directed by Chris Pine, the actor. It's his first filmmaking one. Darren Barronman, is an unwavering optimist and a native Angelino who spends his days looking after the pool of the Tahitian Tiki apartment block and fighting to make his hometown a better place to live. Don't know if anyone's really going to go and see this because it has a Metacritic score of 20.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Next up is The Last Stop in Yuma County. While stranded at a rural Arizona rest stop, I can't read today. Holy moly. While stranded at a rural Arizona rest stop, a traveling salesman is thrust into a dire hostage situation by the arrival of 2 bank robbers with no qualms about using cruelty or cold, hard steel to protect their blood-stained fortune. It's been getting some pretty decent kind of first reviews, so if it appeals to you, go right ahead. After that is Gasoline Rainbow. Follows 5 teenagers from small-town Oregon who, with high school in the rear view, decide to embark on a one last adventure to make it to a place they've never been, the Pacific Coast, 500 miles away. Their plan in full, fuck it. That is the entire thing for that movie. Apparently it had I think it's the Venice Film Festival and South by Southwest. It's gotten a couple awards. Got an 83 on Metacritic, so might be worth it to check out. Looks like it's going to be in early showings now, and will wide release later in the year. Or the month. But, alrighty. That's it for the movies that are coming out this week. But with the change in music, it is time to start thinking about those movies that you want to put on the Wheel of Fate. So go ahead and start getting those into the comments, but we'll look and see if we have any comments.
We had some questions, actually.
Will this start this week? Yes.
Yes.
This starts this week. You mean I have a chance? You've always got a chance. It will just
No,
get
Matt.
progressively
No.
smaller and smaller unless you give us like 30 movies this week. But we're going to put like a hard cap at like 8 or 9. So are those movies already on the wheel, the ones I said last week? Yes, they are still on the wheel unless it was picked. So like Chopping Mall, which I believe was yours last week,
Yep.
is no longer on the wheel. Because if it's picked, it comes off of the wheel.
Mhm.
So to better kind of illustrate what I am talking about, let's go ahead and pull up the wheel. And here it is. So this is obviously the movies that were selected last week, but also a couple of movies that were added on this week by other people, other friends now. So, there's a cap now. There wasn't before. I mean, there was always like a soft cap, like 8, 9, 10. That's probably the most. Just because of the number of viewers we have, we can get away with like that amount. That cap will probably reduce as we go on. It used to be submitted. I went, yeah. I mean, still technically you can, but no one's really submitted more than 10. So it's just kind of been like, no one's really done more than that. So we'll say 10 is the limit.
Mhm.
But let's go ahead. Any movies you guys want to add, go ahead and put them in the comments section. Kevin, I think we can go ahead and do 2 more again this week.
Yeah,
each of us?
I'm down for that.
Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead. Let's see what you got. I hear some fingers typing away. Come on, let's see what you got. Unless you're like, I don't know, throw them on there. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and we get some of these in here.
Hi, Eddie.
Hello, Eddie. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far. Glad to see you could join us. I love how you were taking this to movies that are going to torture us. Absolutely love it. Battlefield Earth and Bucky Larson specifically. Holy moly. I actually have a funny story about Bucky Larson. If it wins, I'll tell it. Glass Bottom Boat. Kevin, if you want to select those comments, I might help you out. All right, Glass Bottom Boat. The one time I want to add 20 and you ruined it. If you actually submit 20, I will put them in. Ice Station Zebra.
Oh, so Nadia wants you to watch the ones that have G's on it. So, because I've already watched them.
Well, basically, if it lands on you, then it will just be.
Okay.
I guess we'll do that. That's fine. The basket case is already on.
It's
there,
already
but
up
I'll
there.
add the G to it.
Bless the Hilson? I don't know what that. Oh, Bless the Children. Sorry. Oh gosh, here we go.
Oh my gosh, Joey.
My favorite duck.
These are all animated shorts, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Well, don't be surprised if we get a animated short this week. I think if we do, we can just add it on to whatever else we get.
Yeah, I'm
They're
cool
usually
with
like
that.
7 minutes. Holy moly.
This is what he said though.
Yeah, I asked for it. Porky Pig's feet. Wow, jeez Louise. He has an OnlyFans apparently. Or Only Feet.
Are these all Looney Tunes?
Yep.
Oh.
If there's anything I know about Mr. Joey, I wasn't done with that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know which one you're on.
The Unruly Hair, Daffy Doodles. Oh my gosh, fucking Christ.
Matt.
This is why we're doing the limit from now on, everyone.
Matt, bro, I ain't winning. I feel it in my bones.
Again, you all can submit multiple movies. Most people just put in 1 or 2. That's why you never get picked.
Oh, that's so good.
It's just math at this point. All right, Joey, you're done with these. after this. I'm not done. Jesus, you can see me typing them, buddy.
I can't see which one you're on though.
To the bottom of the right side. Oh, okay. Holy moly.
Oh, now I can see where you're at.
Actually, I do know some of these, and some of these are they're fantastic animated shorts. So, like, we'll definitely watch them if it lands on them, but we want to make sure we get 2 feature movies.
I got you.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm down for that. So,
alrighty, that's it. Next up.
Okay. All right, nothing. It's just this, and this one.
Alrighty, that was a lot of shorts. Are there any other feature-length movies that anyone would like to add to this? Would be what we're looking for. If not, it's fine.
Oh my gosh,
a lot of shorts.
The list.
See, this is what's going to be great, because when it gets to the point where we have so many, these are all going to be so small that you can't read them, or they'll just be colors.
That's funny.
You won't know what you're getting until it's done. That's what I would like it to be honest. Because you can be like, oh, I don't want to get that. Mm-hmm. Citizen Kane from Eddie. Alrighty. I mean, that's going to be a little rough, because that may come up on Movie Club, but it's a good way to get it watched ahead of time.
I think, yeah, that's good.
Actually, we don't have it scheduled for Movie Club.
Oh,
so,
okay.
And I've already reviewed it, so I'll just go ahead and put your name next to it, Kevin.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Laughs my knife. Alrighty, we'll give it another minute. If anyone has any other feature-length movies they want to get on here, go ahead and do it. And then obviously, if it's a movie we've already reviewed or we've already talked about or anything like that, it will be respun. So let's say it lands on like it's on Pacific Rim right now on the screen. I've already reviewed that movie. We did it on the podcast, but Kevin hasn't seen it. So if it lands on
I've
me,
seen it.
But have you reviewed it?
I think I have, actually.
Oh, Jesus. Planet of the Apes 2001. I have already reviewed that one. I don't know if our good friend Kevin here has done it.
No.
That'll be a fun one. Star Trek the Motion Picture. Hell yeah. I hope that wins, because I want to watch the director's cut that just came out. Or not just came out, but it was recently released. Alrighty, everyone. A couple of seconds left.
Yeah, I have reviewed it.
So we've both seen and reviewed Pacific Rim. I can actually go ahead and take that off then.
Hey, look at that. Who wants to put another one on there?
Let's do another one. Throw it on there. Let's go. Here's the thing. If you don't put one, if one more doesn't get suggested, I'm putting Cannibal Holocaust on here just for Kevin.
No. I'm not watching it. Oh, I'm gonna put Sting when it comes out. How about that for you? Yeah. Yeah, you want to play it?
There's also that new one on Shudder, Infested, that I have
Nadia couldn't watch that one.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
King Kong versus Godzilla. There it is. Alrighty.
There you go, Matt. There you go, Matt. Keep going, Matt.
So next week, dubbed version. Okay. I'll put dub next to it. Alrighty. So that's gonna be it. No more suggestions. But before next week, think of feature-length movies. We'll put them on there. But think about which ones you'd want to see, and come up with a couple. Oh, Nadia, I couldn't watch it because it was boring.
Yeah. I didn't say it was bad. That's not your fault. I just said you just couldn't finish it.
Interesting. It's been getting good feedback from what I've been hearing, but
really,
I guess not. Alrighty, let's go ahead and shuffle it up. And then you went first last week, Kevin. So
yeah,
I'll go first this week. My first one.
God, it's so funny. All the colors.
It's only going to get worse, and I can't wait. From Hair to Air. That is a short.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go ahead and re-spin it. So that's From Hair to Air.
Is that from Joey?
Yes, it is from Joey. Something tells me Joey's going to be the new crown holder.
I don't think so.
Alrighty, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is my actual spin. Hopefully it's not another short film. We got a feature-length film here. And it's another short.
Well, we can maybe do 2 shorts and see if we can get another one.
Sure. If it's another short, I will not do it. We'll do a maximum of 2 shorts.
Okay.
I think. Alrighty. We'll spin again. Hopefully we get a feature-length film. We'll spin it until it's a feature-length film at this point.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That is a movie. I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
Yeah, dude, because I don't mind watching like 7-minute videos and then watching a movie afterwards. So I'm cool with watching like 2 of the shorts if we get it, and then 2 movies.
That is a movie. That is a lot. I thought it's from my friend, to my coworker Twan, actually. So.
Oh, okay.
Not the kind of movie I would typically seek out, which is the whole point of why we do this. So, Alrighty, Kevin's first roll.
Are you going after me again for the second movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. What do I got?
Kevin gets Showbiz Bugs.
Oh, that's cool. Looks fun. I gotta take a picture.
Also, I'm running it on the script. So.
Oh, okay. I like taking pictures.
I mean, the document we take notes on.
I mean,
this
it's
isn't
not
scripted.
Real.
Alrighty, Kevin, we'll spin again for you.
I mean, you have to. I
short.
I can't touch it.
Yeah, I know.
Near Dark?
Near Dark, I believe.
Is that a short?
No, I believe this is.
Is that Twan?
I gotta double check that. Hold on. Twan did give me a bunch of them. That was, in fact. Unless. Oh, no, that was Joey.
Oh, okay.
Near Dark is from 1987, directed by Catherine Bigelow. That is a full feature-length film. Never actually heard of it.
Me neither.
It is on Tubi.
Tubi coming in clutch.
Ooh, it is a horror movie, apparently.
Oh.
All right. Well, a little more you know. Alrighty. So we're going to do my second one now. If it is a short film, we will respin.
Correct. And if I get a short film the next time, I'll watch that short film as well, because you're doing 2 short films and 2 movies.
Well, I can't pick a movie for myself, so we'll close that out. That was almost Battlefield Earth, and I was really scared that I was going to have to watch Battlefield Earth.
I mean, is that a bad movie?
Propaganda.
Oh.
That is a short.
Yep.
So we'll respin. This must be so exciting. I'm so kind of super excited to see what ends up happening with all this. And that is another short. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up a little bit again. Respin.
Matt says he likes Near Dark.
Good to know.
Problem
Child. Is this a film? Let's see if it is on Letterboxd. I believe, yes, this is actually a film. I'm trying to remember if this was... Is that Joey again?
It must be, because he's laughing in the chat.
All right. Well, Nadia, it wouldn't be lame if you had suggested 20, 30 movies. It's all within your power to do so. All righty. And Kevin, your second one. Oh, problem was not you. That may have been Twan. And the other woman, that was Twan as well.
And that's a movie.
That is in fact a movie. It is starring. Actually, it wasn't Twan. Who said Problem Child? When did that come on here? That was Eddie.
Oh,
Fans of something.
Oh, okay.
Great. All right. I mean, there's a theme in the movies that Eddie selected, except for Origin. So, except for Citizen Kane too. Very. Problem Child is me. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. yeah. This is gonna be great. Matt Walls, Joey can't submit anything else for 5 months as it was written. I can live with that. I mean, again, feature-length movies, sure. I do think it is great to have short films on here, just because it's a part of film that we don't get to review enough of. Because short films are great.
Wait, can I get one more short film?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I need to write down the other woman for you. Other. And what's nice is that like all of the like animated, the Looney Tunes and animated shorts are all on YouTube. So
Yeah.
nope.
Oh, damn it! I wanted the beekeeper. Damn it!
You could just watch it, like if you
No.
want to.
Oh, it's on the thing. Beekeeper again! Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Where was this
Come on.
earlier?
3 times the charm. Third times the charm.
3,000 Years of
Nope.
Longing, that's a movie.
Yep.
Alright. Now we can't hit a short film. This is the curse. This is what Joey has created for us.
One missed call is naughty.
movie.
I'll do my favorite duck. It's right below it.
Well, I guess I can remove it. Yeah, my favorite duck. We'll do
My
that.
favorite duck.
It
Okay.
didn't happen on the wheel, but you know, it's okay.
It's right below the wheel.
You know what? The more of these shorts we watch, they get taken off the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said though, make sure not all are. I made sure it can be watched before I suggested them. Awesome, you're great, Joey. Thank you so much. But yeah, they're gonna stay on next week. So next week, come with a list. Think about some movies that you'd like to see us watch. Good, bad, mediocre, whatever it could be, and suggest them. Obviously, the more movies you suggest, the more chances you have of your movie being picked. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
But alrighty, that is going to be it for this week's live stream. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. We know we're really over time this week, but
Yeah.
hope you're all having a fantastic week. Have a fantastic week before next week. We do have a really special movie club coming up this week, in that Kevin didn't even know the genre of the film when we were watching it. So that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
We are covering Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, which is going to be a very exciting episode. So can't wait to talk about that all with all of you. And then obviously our live stream every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So
Matt, it's only 10 movies.
yes, we are doing 10 movies from now on too.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 is what you can submit. And holy moly, this is going to be a big wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if there's any movie that we have seen in the time here, like if we both choose to watch The Beekeeper, we'll take it off. If Kevin watches The Beekeeper and I don't, I'll put my initial next to it. Like it's just going to be like that. So
yeah.
But alrighty, everyone, have a fantastic week. Looking forward to seeing you all again next Monday with those lists. You've got homework. Don't procrastinate. But thank you so much again for watching, and thank you all so much again for coming out every week. We really appreciate all of you kind of sitting in the comment section, engaging with us. It really means a lot, because hopefully over the course of this year, the channel is going to take some pretty big changes and kind of some big steps forward in what we want to do with it. So hopefully you're all here to experience that with us as well. And until next time, make sure to keep those eyes on the screen. Have a good night, everyone.